I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
Travel back in history, boys.
Let me take you back. Back in time.
No.
We're
going to stay right here.
No, I'm not going.
Let me keep you right in this location in time.
No.
I'm staying right here.
That's like the most, like the worst ending to Back to the Future 2. It's like, you know, it starts. He's like, "Get in, Marty. We have to go to the future." And what if Marty's like, "No"? And then it just ends.
Yeah.
I'm not go.
Back
The
to the
future
future.
refused to change.
Staying in the present.
Staying right here too.
It's the spinoff.
The lamest movie.
Yeah, that should be a whole series of movies where the hero refuses to go back in time. It's just called
You
Staying
have to
Right
go back
Here.
in time to save your family. No.
No.
That sounds like a fucking Tim Robinson sketch. Right? So you ever see his stuff? He's been doing like stuff on Netflix.
Tim Robinson. Oh,
He does the one where he's like the guy is like is like, "Don't you know how to drive?" He's like, "No, I don't. I
Yeah.
fucking don't, and I'm scared." He said that.
yeah, I think you should leave.
Yeah. That show. Yeah, that sounds like a Tim Robinson sketch.
That show had I think the funniest skit I've ever seen in my life. Like it literally I think I was crying laughing so hard. It's the one where he dresses up as the old man in the mall.
Yeah.
And it has like an existential crisis.
My favorite was the pay it forward. Where
yeah.
where he's like, "I just want to pay it forward." Then he fucking skirts around the restaurant. He's like, he starts listing off all this shit.
Yeah. 200 hamburgers, 200 fries. I've started recording, by the way.
I could go for 200 hamburgers right now. How many hamburgers do you think you could eat one sitting?
3.
Yeah, 3 is a good number.
3, wow.
I mean, we're talking not the small ones, like
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 what
a real-
size hamburgers are we talking? Like a
Because if you're
Like
talking
a
White
Whopper.
Castle, like I'll get the
like a Whopper.
but
Well, that's a slider though. Yeah.
the Whopper's
Like
not
a
that
Whopper.
big.
I think I could do like 5 Whoppers, maybe.
That's so much bread. That's the trick with the Whopper.
Yeah.
But a standard beefy burger is 3.
like from where?
A diner.
Oh, like a diner burger.
Diner burger.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe 3, maybe 4 if I'm pushing it. If I'm really pushing to see how far I can go. I can eat though. I can eat a lot. Might have to pay for it.
Can you eat?
I can. It's dangerous. I'm almost 30 and I can eat like I'm 15.
There'll be a time when they'll
There'll be a
realize
time.
that just ain't possible.
Yeah. It'll hit me one day. So I'm going for 4 burgers, maybe 5 burgers.
5 guys.
5 guys. I could take 5 guys at once, yeah.
Doing what?
Your belly's gonna be real
Five
full
guys
after
in the-
that.
Take 5 guys in the mouth, you know?
Yeah.
Same.
Be a lot to-
Certain
lot to
supplies.
choke
Your
down.
belly will be real fully after. Full after
5 burgers from 5 guys. That's like $78.
Is it?
Something like
Probably, right?
Probably close, yeah, because I think like a burger is like,
13.
yeah, something like that. It's up there.
It'll take 5 guys to buy 1 burger.
I spent my whole paycheck on Five Guys burgers.
Here's how it went down.
It's just me and a Five Guys. Hey, can I get 40 burgers? What?
You'll notice I addressed the cashier directly. I wasn't
Okay,
sure
can I
if he
get a
processed
40
what I said. That's when he asked, "Would you like fries with that?" At which point I said,
Dude, it's five. If it's Five Guys, they don't want. They want you. Like, if you order fries, they want you to take all of them. They're like, "Yeah, can I get a small fry?" Sure. And then you see the guy back there like scooping the fries. He's fucking like throwing them in the bag and shit. And I'm like, "You guys don't want these fries. You guys are like, get them out of here."
"Five Guys and too many fries. We're just trying to get him out of here."
Five Guys, too many fries. I should change the name of the restaurant.
Just take them from us. Bring your own bag.
Hey, you want to go to? Where do you want to stop for lunch? How about Five Guys and too many fries?
What's their special? Fries.
Guys and fries.
Like us.
Yeah. 3 guys.
And no
Doesn't
fries.
quite work. No fries. No fries. 3 guys.
If there's one homework assignment we have, it's to bring more fries.
For Fry Month.
Friduary.
Fried you. Fried you, Harry.
It's Button Mapper
Every
Friday.
episode, you have to be eating fries. Yeah, the episodes go up on Friday for that month.
Yeah. We eat fried Oreos.
Dude, I like fried Oreos.
Fried chicken.
Yeah. I like fried chicken. I've had fried alligator.
I don't know if I can order
Fried
that.
gator. Fried gator.
Yeah. I can get
Pretty
Gatorade.
Yeah,
Fried
same
gator.
thing. Fried Gatorade.
Yeah.
Like, did they pour the whole bottle in, or did they fry the bottle?
Fry the bottle.
Good to know.
That's the experience. It's both.
It's a local Arizona fair favorite.
It's a treat.
Fried Gatorade. They're so
I
damn
don't-
thirsty out there.
I don't leave the fair till I get my fried Gatorade.
They say these bottles got all the nutrients.
Can I get the frost blue, please?
Extra plastic. I like it chewy.
Once you
what-
get past the cap, you're gonna be pretty good.
It's what plants
Label.
crave.
I'm more of a fried Powerade guy myself.
Dude, I love it when people bring that shit to the table. 'Cause you know that their priorities are just fucking scattered. They're like, I think I like Powerade a little more than Gatorade. What's wrong with you? Who hurt you?
Listen here, blue Powerade, pretty damn good. Take it over Gatorade.
It's that Hooterade you gotta watch out for.
You know what? I think that's silly, but yet, if we're talking like water, branded water, yeah, I got a goddamn opinion about which brand water I want.
What's that?
Not Deer Park. You ever had Deer Park water?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we have that.
Tastes
here.
like piss. It's like deer piss.
The Crystal
Also don't want
Geyser
Dasani.
is pretty bad too.
Dasani is just actively stupid because they add salt anyway. So
I'm fine with
Dasani.
Dasani.
I think
It's-
Fiji is pompous.
Fiji, yeah.
Yeah, it's too much.
You shouldn't drink. Honestly, you shouldn't drink water from water bottles anyway, if you can avoid it. 'Cause it has a lot of estrogen in it.
Welcome to estrogen month.
Estuary. Estrogenary.
Testosterone.
Esther, what's equestrian area? That's horses.
Equestrian.
Yeah. What if that's the next
equestrian
question,
area.
Master? The equestrian.
Equestrian master.
Master
Oh my
of-
god! If we
E-
ever do horses, we should totally do an equestrian.
For
Equestrian.
for horse month, we do
That's
equestrian.
that's the big announcement that we tease.
Yeah. Yeah. Who will win?
The questions are shape shifting a little bit. It's going to be a form of questions.
The community discourse, you have to have on one of those fucking horse masks, you know?
Yes. Yes.
The
We only
floppy-
accept it if
floppy.
we have a floppy horse mask.
You have to be a horse of some sort. You have to really show your inner horse
Yeah.
and your outer.
Any Audi.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Best of both worlds. To be a true equestrian master, you must channel your inner horse and outer horse. Just all horse.
We're
Horse
not
month.
talking about horse cocks. Not today.
You've
Not
heard of
bringing
a
it up.
4-course meal. Try a 4-horse meal. It's equestrian month.
You don't eat a horse. Get out of here.
The horse
I would.
eats you.
I eat
What do
it
you
right
eat for?
fucking here.
Like cooked? Just a
Yeah,
whole
cook the horse and just eat it right in front of the camera.
I thought you were talking about like they just bring you a horse and you just like oh, you just start like going to town.
Lose my shit. Yeah.
Well, that's what happens in Diablo.
Spencer goes ape.
It was ape for horses.
That was the okay. Spencer was the one in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, we didn't get to see what you did. Did you eat that horse?
For sustenance. That's why my character is so strong. And horse-like.
He had all the horse power,
Eating
right?
the horse turned me into a horse. That's kind of the,
you become what you eat.
that's the long arc of my character's story that never got fully fleshed out.
Wow, it's more D&D
What
like
a-
than we thought after all.
That'd be that'd be the worst superhero. Horseman.
One that's like, slowly turning into a horse every episode.
Yeah, he became a horse because he ate a horse.
Did you guys see the phone call movie?
No.
It's like, hello, my name is or something. I don't remember exactly.
My name is what? My name is Wigga Wigga Horseman.
No, it's like a,
No, what
a
was
black
it?
guy trying to have a white voice to like work in the phone.
Oh,
operation
yeah, I saw that.
business.
I saw that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Crazy
That was-
connection with horses.
Weird movie.
It got weird.
Very, very weird movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was following it for the first half.
Yeah, it took a huge turn
I
midway.
haven't seen that.
Thank you for calling or something.
Yeah.
The only cell phone movie I saw was the BlackBerry movie with Glenn Howerton, and he has a bald cap on.
Oh, is that that's new, right?
Yeah,
Or
because
is
he's
that-
playing the guy that like pushed BlackBerry to become a thing.
Oh.
And he was like a fucking crazy person, which is perfect for Glenn Howerton.
Yeah.
Mm. Classic.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. I mean, I don't know. If it's just one of those. I don't know about those like biopics that are like clearly stuff's kind of made up, like the Founder, you know,
Mhm.
with Michael Keaton. Like it's a fun movie, but like you have to like suspend your disbelief for parts of it.
Oh yeah, like that. The Founder. That's the McDonald's one.
Yeah, like that's a good movie, but like I don't know
It's
how
okay.
accurate it is, you know.
Yeah, the propaganda in it is strong.
Yeah.
You can
It's
make
like, as
quality
a-
burgers in minutes. How? Oh.
My favorite part is like the beginning of that movie when he like orders his food and then they put the like here you go. It's immediate. They hand him the bag and the drink. It's like, well, that's your food. He's like, well, where do I eat it? He goes, you can eat it in your car, at the park, wherever. I was like, that is not how that conversation went. And they didn't give him
For
that
one,
fast.
like nowadays it takes like 10 minutes, and then two, the guy would be like, "I don't fucking care. Get out of my face. I'm
Yeah,
struggling to pay the bills. This job ain't cutting it."
yeah. I'm working at a burger stand. Get out of here.
I've been noticing
hell
that
out.
a lot. I don't know if it's identical, but like with modern TV shows and stuff, I feel like the actors and actresses are just reading. I don't feel like they are like performing believable dialogue. Like a guy's dad will just die, and he'll be like, the other guy will be like, "Dude, that's so sad," or like it's just not. Something's missing.
It's
There's a style like that now.
It's without people acting without their face, because your face is a big part of acting, and when you remove that, it's just words. Like I'm a big fan of Bill Hader and the show Barry, and 90% of that show is facial reactions and not speaking, which is good because you can tell more about a character from their facial reaction than you can like. I'm upset because I'm upset.
I think you may have Wes Anderson to blame for that. Even though I love his movies, I think people really admired his style, which was kind of this like cold, expressionless style. And then everyone kind of wanted to do that. And I do see that a lot, where there will just be characters that just seem like soulless, dead humans that speak, and it doesn't work unless you have the right charm for it, which rarely they do.
Like
I watched a thing
script
about
writing.
Napoleon Dynamite the other day.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, because that's like inspired by Wes Anderson, and I was like,
I didn't know that. That's funny. They don't seem that close.
Was like a movie. No, but that movie was like also that movie had like, it was an independent movie, and then it became like one of the most significant like pop culture films of like the last whatever 10 years or whatever 20 years.
Yeah,
so, it was just funny to like watch and think about it, and like I was like, oh, I didn't know that like John Heder, that's his name. He was only paid like $1,000 for playing Napoleon.
Damn.
Bummer.
Yeah.
My dad and I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
Eat your carrots, Tina. It's like my favorite line.
Stop taking my tots.
My favorite. No, the part that always cracks me up is the time machine part where Napoleon has the thing between his legs. And he's like, go, and then he gets by. It's like, or not Kip, but Uncle Rico, right? Walks by and he also is like in pain because like he also tried it or whatever. But that's my favorite scene. Is just Napoleon with the fucking crystals and the thing on his head and the thing in between his legs. It's like the dumbest thing. The dumbest.
Fucking stupid, but it's funny. Ready to get started?
Yeah, we should probably get started.
Put your caps on, boys. It's Capcom month. You just green screen a hat behind me. Half of one behind Spencer. Hey, y'all. I hope you're ready for a history lesson. Because we're talking about the history of Capcom. 3 unique instances of Capcom history.
Sit down, it's first period. Everybody get your notebooks out. Take notes.
First note you should take is that you should check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and read more about Button Mapper lore on the Discourse. That's kind of like a rhyme.
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
One thing that might surprise you is that we have podcasts on multiple platforms. This is going to be on the quiz, Terry. They are Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you see option C and it says Pod Bucket, it's not right. Don't answer.
That's the
or it is right, or it's the only one that's right.
Yeah,
Don't
it's like which of these
the school system.
It's like which of the following is false, and it's multiple choice, and Pod Bucket is C.
Yeah. It's a 3-part answer.
If you want extra credit, leave a comment, like and subscribe, ring the bell, and make a goddamn video response. Jesus.
I tell my kids that all the time. Make a goddamn video response.
How many times do I have to say it to you people?
We're still
we
waiting.
don't get any. We don't get any video responses. I mean, unless we do like one of those community things.
Listen,
that's why I've been saying it the last few times, because this isn't a fucking joke anymore.
Listen, my ideal classroom, all the kids are making video responses. Right now, none of you are making video responses. We're a little disappointed. Like, we just want more. We want to see you apply yourselves. So make
Yeah.
a video response. Let's see what you can come up with.
Are they
Yeah.
making the video response in the classroom?
Yeah.
I mean, God, they all have phones. They could just pop one out.
Yeah, it's
real
like
quick.
they're all like at their desk, like, hey, it's we're making.
You could hear everyone else's video response in the
This
background.
is, yeah,
Hey,
this is my
Larry here.
response.
We're going to do that video. Cool. Well, this is our video response to ourselves. The history of Capcom. Alex, what history of Capcom can you teach us about today?
I did my project on a Capcom game series. I'm going to talk about it. Today I'm here to talk about the history of so we weren't sure where to take this episode because Capcom is such a huge company. So we'll see where we all chose to go. But I chose to go down one of my favorite series, and one of the most important to Capcom right now is Monster Hunter. I want to talk about the history of Monster Hunter, and maybe focus on maybe like their transition over to like a series that's been popular over here. It is fun to note. I didn't know this, but from 2004 to 2013, there have only been 2 years without Monster Hunter.
Wow.
It was 2012 and 2020. Those two were the only years where something Monster Hunter related was not happening.
It's the new Pokemon.
So
The golden years,
Yeah.
they call it.
the golden shower, yeah. So it's been interesting reading about Monster Hunter. I'm a huge fan, but I also got into Monster Hunter around the time where it became big over here, which is around Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I did read an article about. I hope I don't butcher his name. The guy who is the director of the Monster Hunter series is Ryozo Sugimoto. I think that's how you say it. It's very, he's a Japanese man. And his father, I believe, is a head at Capcom, and like that's how he and his brother started working at Capcom. He came on the Monster Hunter series and worked since the first game, and I think he took over a few games in as director, and now he's been in charge of Monster Hunter ever since. So you could sort of see him as the papa of Monster Hunter. I read an article for The Guardian that was "Call Me Mr. Monster Hunter, the man who turned a Japanese curiosity into a global smash." They talk about how the first Monster Hunter was a part of a 3-game effort to expand their online presence within gaming. It was on the PS2 along with Resident Evil Outbreak, which is a game that I am familiar with, and some racing game that was Japan only. I'm not sure how you say it either. It's Auto Modalesta or something. I don't know how you say that title, but some racing game, some
Gran
car game.
Turismo.
Japanese. Well, it's. I was going to say Japanese Gran Turismo, but that's already Japanese. I don't know what the hell this game is, but I am familiar with Resident Evil Outbreak. This is around 2004. They had a push to make PS2 games that would expand their online presence and have more online playability to have people play from all over the world. This was still a fairly new concept at the time. Xbox was doing it with Xbox Live. So it was cool to see Capcom sort of push this effort. From there, after the first game on PS2, Monster Hunter would stay on PSP for a pretty long time. I actually didn't know this either, but while they had a number of games on the PSP, Monster Hunter Portable Third, which is a portable version of Tri, I believe, is the best-selling PSP game. And I did not know that was the best-selling PSP game. Not surprised, but I am a little surprised because, they had a lot of Final Fantasy stuff on the PSP. So
Can
in
I
Japan,
ask a
the
question?
series became... No.
Okay.
No, just kidding, go ahead.
That game, do you know the breakdown between Japan-only sales and global sales?
For a Portable Third?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me look. I'm not even sure if it came out over here. I know some of the other ones did. Like, I know Freedom Unite, and Freedom 2 did. But I think... Let me see. I think it was Japan only.
Wow. Oh, so it's the best-selling
Yeah.
PSP game, but it was Japan
And
only.
it was it
That's
was
crazy.
Japan only.
Okay.
Yeah, but it from what I could tell, it is essentially just Monster Hunter Tri for Wii, just but on PSP. So I can tell you. Let me see if I can see the sales.
VG charts,
I-
it seems to be they don't have any that I can
Fine.
see.
Okay. Well, Try on the Wii, I know wasn't where the series took off over here at least, but Portable Third seemed to have done a huge number over there. But also the other PSP games leading up to Portable Third, because there's a ton of them leading up to it, were also very popular. They said they took the series from PS2 to PSP because in Japan portable consoles were way more popular. It seemed like more people were willing to have portable consoles in their homes than standard consoles. So the idea to move it over to a portable just made more sense to them. Then of course the series became very big in Japan, but not that big over here at the time. Up until the 3DS release of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, which is also where I kind of hopped on the wagon. I did play Try on Wii a little bit, didn't get it, but that's really where it took off, was on 3DS for me. The article that I read was from 2017 when Monster Hunter World had just released, and they were kind of going off that success because I don't know if this is still true. Maybe Spencer could check. But Monster Hunter World at this time was the best-selling Capcom game of all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which to go from a niche Japanese series to the best game in your company's history is that's a big accomplishment. He doesn't want to take any credit for it, though. He says that they work as a team. He's he's not the father of Monster Hunter. He is by no means the head of Monster Hunter.
Ryozo?
But they're very but they're very proud of what they've done
Okay.
with the series.
The PS4 version has sold 4.67 million total.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's come out on other things since then. But
So that surpassed all Resident Evils up to that point? Wow.
really, I would have thought Resident Evil 4 would have been higher, or even
Let me see.
maybe
Let me
not
see
the
if I can,
originals, but
let's see if I can just look up what Capcom's best-selling game is right now. Because obviously Monster Hunter's games have come out after this as well. So I'm curious if World still holds that record for them. Yep, it's still Monster Hunter World.
Nice. I remember that being a
crazy.
big internet sensation. A lot of people were playing Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, I was excited. I mean, it was their first real return to console. Okay, so Try was on Wii, then it moved to portable, and then it came back to the Wii U. But who the hell's playing Wii U? I played three Ultimate on Wii U, but nobody was. But after that, it mainly stayed on 3DS. It moved from PSP to 3DS, and it stayed there for the longest time. But I guess it earned enough of a foothold here in the West on 3DS whenever they went into they started to develop the PS4 version. I guess they just became more popular in the West, and it became such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about arcade gaming, which I think is interesting because he talks about whenever he started development of the original game, arcade architecture and console architecture were very different. Arcades were ahead of consoles, but now they sort of sees that gap, and he kind of contributes that to the success of World as well. I guess they're just saying that consoles are more powerful, they're able to do a lot more. And they've already been working on these gameplay systems for years and years, so they were able to bring it over to the PS4, and Xbox One, and refine it and make it the best that it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Like I said, I was not expecting to learn more about the sales of Monster Hunter in Japan. I didn't know that was the highest selling PSP game, but it's very cool. Yeah, I love this series, and I'm glad that Capcom is finally doing well over here with Monster Hunter.
Nice. Spencer, you got any addendums for us?
no. Do you usually play it multiplayer?
No.
Really?
I'm a solo guy, mainly because I don't have a lot of friends that play Monster Hunter. It's still while that game is like Capcom's best-selling game, and it's gotten more popular here. it's still not at the level as a lot of other games. You know, a lot of like Call of Duties and stuff.
Hmm.
So I still have trouble getting people into playing it with me because they're like, I don't know, that looks weird. Like that sounds weird.
I think
Yeah,
I'm traumatized by the 3DS one. I don't know. I'm nervous. It was so much like I spent 10 hours playing it and it felt so samey. So I actually just don't know. I might I would get it for like $20 and try it, but I don't know. I would say that I think playing online would be better on console. I can understand why World was the launching off point for the series, but I am curious why you think Western audiences latched on at all.
Well, there definitely was like a niche audience leading up until the 3DS, but honestly, it's probably I think the series might just have had a better audience on the 3DS with Nintendo, because that's where a lot of other, you can fight me, but I'm gonna say it, other RPGs lived on the 3DS for a long time. That was the RPG machine basically, and I think Monster Hunter kind of fits into that mold. So maybe that was like just a chance for more people to like be willing to experience it as opposed to on other platforms.
It was also unique for the
Because
3DS. Like, I mean, RPG or not, like it was a unique like the 3DS has a library, but even within that library, I mean, there's only so much variety. So I remember going on the shop and that being like its own icon, like on the eShop. It's Monster Hunter Games.
Yeah, and I mean they still consider it an RPG. The team themselves. It's just they have like they have what's called a compulsion loop is for its gameplay, where it's like a, hold on, let me click on compulsion loop because this is a whole article by itself.
Yay, physics lesson.
So yeah, so you have it's like a triangle, and you have anticipation, and you go from anticipation to challenge, which is kill monsters. So anticipation is buy improved gear, challenge is kill monsters, and then it goes to reward, which is golden loot, and then that goes back to improved gear. So you're constantly always working in this circle, And then that's sort of like the uniqueness of Monster Hunter is its gameplay loop. So it's cool to see a a little diagram of like how that works. But it's pretty simple when you boil it down. It's just kill things, get better loot, make better armor to kill more things.
Nice.
I mean, that's basically, if you break it down, like if you distill it like that, that's a lot of dungeon crawlers.
Mm-hmm.
The
Because they also have a leveling system within
not
it
really.
too.
Fire Emblem, but
Well, yeah, RPGs in general. It's if you really.
I can't date the Rathalos, so it's not Fire Emblem.
I mean, you could. That's a real role playing game. If you can't date a Rathalos, I don't know if it's an RPG.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
dude. There is like a whole if you go on Reddit, which is the worst fucking place to be, but if you go on there are people that literally they're like, I like Dragon Quest 11 better than 8 because the dating options are better at the end. It's like, oh my god, your life is just a fucking mess.
And it is worth noting that the Monster Hunter series has become so big that they've crossed over into other games. Like they were in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker had a little Monster Hunter thing. Final Fantasy 14 had a Monster Hunter event. Of course, Smash Bros has like a Rathalos boss fight, which is pretty cool. And they even within Monster Hunter World had events for like Horizon, Assassin's Creed, and The Witcher, which is very cool. They had a Monster Hunter anime, which is based on stories called Monster Hunter Stories Right On. They had apparently some manga, which I have not read that, but that's pretty cool. And apparently they crossed over. Oh, they crossed over in the Archie Comics Mega Man and Sonic series, which
of course
I talked about that in some videos before. So they had Monster Hunter stuff in there. There's apparently a Monster Hunter card game that was planned in 2008. That's cool. There's a animated film that I didn't know about. It looks like it's 3D animated, so that scares me. And of course, there's an actual movie which has fucking Mila, whatever her name is, from the Resident Evil movies. It's the same goddamn guy that does the Resident Evil movies, and that movie's awful. But it's just notable that that's such a big series for Capcom now that they're willing to like push them into other media.
Very nice.
Did you? I thought the movie was the best movie I've ever seen.
Did you? Yeah, it was your favorite part.
I didn't see it,
Yeah, it's dumb.
but everyone told me
Yeah.
it was fucking terrible.
You know how Monster Hunter is about like improving gear and like helping the people in like this little village and stuff. The movie is about a bunch of soldiers that get sucked into a Monster Hunter world.
See, I always do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they
God
just
damn
make
it.
a game that's like, or make a movie that's like the
Yeah.
game?
They could just
Like, why
make a
is it
movie
so
about being a Monster Hunter. You don't have to take Army Girl and throw her into Monster Hunter. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, they're like, let's make a Super Mario movie. Okay, what's it like? It's like, well, he's a plumber in real life and then has to do this. It's like, why? Like, the template was written for you.
The template is
That one at
Jurassic
least-
Park. You bust
That
up
one
the
at-
game, and
the
then you
Mario-
get sucked in the game.
The Mario
Yeah.
movie at least follows Mario lore because that is the lore of like the the NES and stuff of like he was in Brooklyn. Like that's
Kind
Yeah.
of.
so
But it's like they stray so far.
yeah.
It's like nobody wants you to reinvent the wheel, and it's coming to a game that you like. Like, just make it like the game, and people will be happy. Hopefully.
It's like human characters in Godzilla movies. Nobody wants that. Nobody cares about the human characters in a Godzilla movie.
How are you going to care about the destruction of the Godzilla monster if you don't care about the human element behind it?
The human character that's gonna be a different character each time that nobody cares about.
Matthew Broderick.
Or the
Yes, Matthew Broderick.
no, oh god, that's not a Godzilla movie. That's a mistake.
Yes, it is. That's the best one.
TriStar Godzilla was the worst.
That
They
is
even
the
killed
fucking greatest Godzilla movie that's ever been made.
They put TriStar Godzilla in one of the Toho films that were like Godzilla was fighting a bunch of different monsters, and it was like his name was Zilla, and he was like a shitty CG animated version of that Godzilla, and he shows up for a minute and a half. He shows up, and Godzilla just fucking wipes the floor with him, like actual Godzilla, just kills him like instantly. And it was
Well,
like, well, he's dead.
to me, the Matthew Broderick one is the actual Godzilla.
No,
that's
that is not.
blasphemous to me.
That was the one
Zilla.
that was the one I grew up with, and then the internet told me it was trash, and I was like, okay. And that's where it ended. I don't know. I had no real problems with it, but I guess a lot of people did.
Anyway, but that's all you have to do for a Monster Hunter movie is we just want to see people fight big monsters. We don't have to. I don't have to. I know Army Girl.
Yeah, you don't gotta have some weird backstory for it. It's like it's all there for you. Just make it that way.
It's like say there's the fucking Rathalos attacking a village, and like that's the movie. It's like this. It's people trying to kill the Rathalos. Like that's all you need.
Well, kids, that's how you make a Monster Hunter movie 101. What did you learn today?
That was Monster Hunter 101. I love this series, and I'm glad to see it flourish.
Thank you for the lesson, teacher.
Who next?
The ball's in your court.
Who next go?
Is that your question for Game Talk?
Yeah, who next go?
Up to you.
Go. That's 3.
I want to tell you to go next.
Okay. I'm ready. Well, Alex talked about a time where Capcom thrived. I'm going to talk about a time where they were almost bankrupt. And there was one game that saved them from bankruptcy. I'm not going to ask you guys to guess the game, but can you guess the genre?
Wait, can I have a time period?
Late 80s.
Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
It was Strip Mahjong, a game called
knew it.
Mahjong Gakuen.
Strip, and I said Street. I said Strip Mahjong 2.
Oh, well then, that's what you said, then you're right. If you said Street Fighter, you're wrong.
Oh.
So this information was divulged somewhat recently. Capcom almost went broke in the late 80s. Even though Ghouls and Ghosts was the highest grossing arcade game, this information was divulged by a guy. His name is, I'll have it up in a second.
All this build up, it's going to be like John.
Basically, John, the Japanese John, Akira Yasuda, who is an artist for Capcom. Well, he divulged it on Twitter, stating, according to Akimon, Capcom was on the verge of bankruptcy when the development of Mahjong Gakuen started. It sold more units than Daimakaimura, which is Ghouls and Ghosts, which released the same year in 1988. So I have a table up that shows sales, and I'll send, if I edit this, I'll just put the image in. At that time, by comparison, it looks like, gosh, you can tell I'm really prepared for this lesson. Namco was grossing the highest between 1987, 88, and 89 with approximately, this is in Japanese, so I have to translate this, about like 350,000 units per year, I guess, of their softwares, maybe millions, I don't know the unit. Capcom was next, and they're, or in this table. So this is not like an order of descending or ascending, but Capcom is clearly the highest. Versus Capcom is next to them. So in 1987, Namco was selling 288 whatever units, and Capcom was selling 67. Then the next year was 83. And the last year on this table, 89, it boosted up to 190. So this game released on the PC Engine, and it didn't release as a Capcom game per se, not labeled that way because it's like obviously a mature game in like a sexual sense, so they didn't want to be associated with it. But the Capcom programmer Takashi Aoki, who worked on the title, oh no, I'm getting the guys confused. Okamoto, he secretly started developing the strip version while they were on the verge of bankruptcy. This is all according to a website called timeextension.com. When it was finished, Capcom's president Kenzo Tsujimoto refused to release it under the company's banner, with the explicit title eventually being distributed under another publisher named Yuga instead. The game sold tremendously well for the company, so well it outsold Ghouls and Ghosts, and it was credited with saving the company from financial crisis. Now, I looked up some gameplay for this. I looked up some gameplay.
Do a little research.
Yeah.
I will not be including it, but there is like a kids mode. So there's only 2 videos that I found on the front page of YouTube for this. My recommendations are going to be all out of whack now. But when you start, there's like a lady with like in her dress looking this way, and she's like, "Nani oshite asobi mashoka." What version of this game would you like to play? The first one is Gakuen Modo, which is student mode or kids mode. The next one is Sengoku mode. I guess that's like next level up, like middle school. And the next one is Rieru Setten, like real setting. And that's like the strip one. And in that one, when you win Mahjong, you get to see the full frontal. And it looks like this game is fun too. Like it's not just like win Mahjong and ladies strip. I noticed that there's like a part like where you're like punching a guy in between. It just has that kind of like weird Japanese quirkiness to it. Personally, Mahjong is a game I like. Like you have to like clear all the dominoes from the stage, and like by matching them, it's a matching game. So I guess it's a fun incentive to play Mahjong, and you can see why it's kind of popular out there in the East. But this is at a time where those kind of games were prevalent. I know the Dreamcast has a lot of like this style of games. So yeah, that's the game that is the reason you have Monster Hunter today. Is Mahjong Gakuen.
The original Monster Hunter.
Yes. Hunting, stripping females.
When all else fails, go to porn.
That's why we bust out Dude 39.
They need to do a version of this with the Rathalos,
Yeah.
That's the next gen version.
where you're stripping the Rathalos.
I think I don't have the exact years for it, but I noticed I was listening to an interview with the guy. It's all in Japanese, so I can't translate this. But they brought up Game Center CX numerous times. I was wondering if they did an episode on it, and maybe that's why it was popular. But again, it was like '89, so I don't know what the years were for Game Center CX.
Did they continue this series beyond
Yeah,
this?
it's huge.
It's. I mean, it could be. It's, there's a lot of Mahjong games like if you go on Steam, you'll find a million of these kinds of things.
Not that I can tell.
Released by Yuga. Yuga.
Ayuga!
Ayuga.
Well, I'm looking
Like a
in
cartoon.
the library
Thing
here.
when you would see a naked lady, Ayuga!
Yeah, your eyes are like popping out of your head.
They're not even listed as companies founded by ex-Capcom employees. They don't want you to uncover this history. They probably did, and then they probably just didn't tell you the names of the developers.
Damn,
That's
we're about
awesome.
to be shut down, huh?
It's like the Mario porn. Like Nintendo bought 2 Mario pornos based on the original Mario movie. They own that because they thought it was easier just like instead of getting them to stop distribution, they thought it was easier just to buy it and hide it.
They thought it was easier just to buy it and jerk off to it furiously.
So Nintendo owns Mario porn.
For research purposes only.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, that's Capcom.
Why do you think this game in particular saved them from financial ruin? Why not Ghouls and Ghosts? They both strip. They strip Mahjong. He strips when you get hit.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be the cartoon aesthetic. People want like that real simulation, you know. The idea of like earned, like strip, like yes, I beat this lady in Mahjong. Take off those panties.
Do you think they should have combined it where you beat Arthur in Mahjong and then he takes off his armor and he's in his underpants?
I think not. I don't think that would sell.
Nobody wants to see Arthur.
In his underpants.
Yeah. Maybe if they had
I'll see some hot
realistic Arthur. Maybe if they had Artha.
Martha.
Yeah.
They had Dante from Devil May Cry and his brother.
Oh no.
At the
I think if they
beach.
changed it to like ghouls and
no.
tits, you know, or ghouls and
Ghouls.
ass.
Ghosts and tits.
Yeah.
Tits and goblins. Ah. Yeah.
Gobbling some tits.
Yeah. That might have done it. But here's what we have. It's
Well,
Mahjong
I talked
Dracula.
about hunting monsters. Tay talked about hunting monsters, and
Momsters.
and momsters. And Spencer's here to talk about the third thing.
Yeah, I'll talk about Breath of Fire as a fan
Man,
of
it was-
RPGs.
It was getting horny in here. Now it's all nothing.
I mean, there's some hot people in here, some hot chicks, some fairies.
Spencer's here to
Not
bring
the
the
Rathalos.
fire.
Yeah,
Is anyone as hot as the Rathalos?
no,
But
that's the hottest Capcom character.
ranking hot Capcom characters, Rathalos.
Put it in the S.
Don't spoil the later videos. Breath of Fire is an RPG developed by Capcom. It was released in Japan in April 1993 and was released in August 1994 in America. And that one was done by Squaresoft as the publisher there. It's kind of interesting. It's recognized as their first traditional role-playing game. And it features character designs from artist Keiji Inafune was the original designer.
Explains a lot.
And then it was switched later. He was yanked out. Let me see. Yeah, Inafune's supervisor took him off the project and replaced him with Tatsuya Yoshikawa. It has a lot of Easter eggs in it, including Chun-Li from Street Fighter. And yeah, when it was translated over to America, they used Ted Woolsey, who I'm sure Teddy remembers from some of our work. He's the famous. He did a lot of them, including he did Final Fantasy Legend 3, Mystic Quest, Secret of Mana. He dealt with tons of translations. He was a pretty big name in that. So Breath of Fire it's a weird one because it's designed to be very old school. And we talked about this in one of the other videos a little bit, but I'll just reiterate here. It's designed to be very old school. So you won't find a lot of customization stuff you might find in games from the same era. Doesn't mean it's bad per se. It's just kind of, to me, it's kind of bland, and I'll get into some of the reviews about that. One of the cool things about it is that all the enemies have health bars, which is something that I actually kind of admire. I like kind of seeing my progress working on an enemy, including bosses, and I think it adds tension to a game. So I actually like that piece of it. One of my problems with the first one is that it has a lot of solo play for a long time, which wouldn't be that big of a problem if there was a little more customization, but there's literally none. So you're just kind of stuck with the main character and just upgrading his armor and weapons. Story-wise, it was kind of bland. There wasn't a whole lot exciting going on there. And then when you finally did get party members, it makes it a lot more interesting. And one of the cool things that on the world map, you can use party members' skills to help you traverse things, which is really interesting and isn't really done in most RPGs of the time. And even now, because they don't really do world maps anymore, which I kind of miss now that, like, I understand that they're not really necessary on modern consoles, but I also kind of miss the days when you just traverse an open world map and just you kind of get a really high level view of everything. I don't know. Maybe that's just old man shaking his fist at clouds, I guess. But part of me misses that.
Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah. In my day. Yeah.
Hey, who knows? Maybe Witcher 4, maybe Jerry of the River will be in a little overworld, you know?
Let's go to some of the reviews for it. Retrospectively, it remains a 78% average score on game rankings, 79% on Metacritic. Debuted in Japan as the third highest selling game of its first week. I know that they like to chronicle things by week there. I don't know why. Selling 22,236 copies. It would sell a total of 63,000 copies by the end of 2001. So never really broke even the 100,000. It's weird because at the time, so like 1994, we're seeing Final Fantasy 2 in America and some Dragon Quest, although that's more at this point, I believe, relegated to Super Nintendo or sorry, Japan. And I don't really think this game trounces either in any respect. It seems so far behind. Like, this honestly seems like an NES game that's just like a little bit, like, that's a lot prettier. But it's so rooted in the old school, much more so than Dragon Quest, which is more of a playful rooting in the old school, and it embraces old and then has some little touches that make it exciting. This seems to lack some of that, and I know some of our fans like this series, so I don't want to just bash on it because it does have good qualities. But I just think it's missing something. It would eventually be ported to the Game Boy Advance in a bit of a semi-remake or whatever. It's got a couple improvements, but not much. It's more of a port than a remake. It spawned 5 sequels, if you want to include the 2016 mobile release. That I'm sure a lot of fans would sooner forget than not. It died in a year.
I played the hell out of it.
Yeah, you're the whale that they were sticking to. It had two, which was on Super Nintendo. 3 and 4 were on the PlayStation, and then 5, which is called Dragon Quarters, was released on the PS2 and basically killed the entire series. It seems like I read in an interview that in 2006 or 2009, one of those, both of those dates they talked about it. It's essentially been announced that it's a dead franchise, which is weird because then they released it on mobile, clearly just trying to make a cash grab, and I think they probably regret that now. But this series is essentially dead. Although with the modern push for JRPGs, I'm wondering if might be coming back on the menu, because there was a time, like, I would say 360 era. I always call it 360 era because it just defines it to me, where JRPGs seemed like they were pretty much dead. They weren't really making them anymore, and if they did, they'd probably be more action based. So the turn-based RPG was essentially gone. But now, late PS4, and now it's like JRPGs are back in a huge way. There's so many that get released. I think it's probably time they consider busting this one out. If not a remake, just a new one. I'm sure people would appreciate seeing it again.
If they combined Breath of the Wild and Breath of Fire, would it be Breath of the Wildfire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would just be set in California.
Okay. Or Canada now.
Or Canada. Yeah.
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 You seem well. Okay, so I guess it makes sense because this is Capcom month, and you're the RPG guy. I don't know. I don't really think of other like turn-based RPGs by Capcom. I know the Mega Man, Battle Network ones, but
Monster
I don't
Hunter
know.
Stories.
Yeah, even then. I don't know. I mean, like, do you think Capcom can make turn-based?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they could do it. They could even get, I mean, they clearly have no issues getting help from Squaresoft just to release it over in America. I'm sure they could work something out with them, like help us make this and we'll do something. They would be able to make one, even if it's, again, even if they just wanted to remake it and just remaster it with some updated visuals and something, they could get something going. 3 and 4, specifically 3, has a fan base that's pretty, they think it's like the best one is 3.
Okay.
So if they could remaster that or bring it back in some big way, they don't even have to change much. Just make it look nicer, more modern, appropriate. I think they could get some money out of it and see how it sells.
I'm sure they'd be open to it. They've been, I mean, Capcom recently, very recently, they're doing that like remake of fucking Ghost Trick
Yeah.
DS game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, and that's a random ass game. So I could see them just being like, "Hey, Breath of Fire, like here's a game."
Goody HD, baby.
No.
The
Yeah,
new
just
trigger
make them
word
all
for
look the
Alex.
same.
Stop saying it.
No, don't want it.
No, I don't think that look would work for it because it's more of an anime style for Breath of Fire. But
So you want to date the characters? That's what you're asking. Make sure they add a dating system.
yes,
Date,
I would date them for sure.
Make her date. Like, make
but
her
would you date the Rathalos?
Yeah, I have
Yeah, me
actually.
too.
The
Yeah,
Rathalos would date you.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah. Oh
works.
yeah. Yeah.
Spencer dated the Rathalos.
His signature
Yeah.
sex move is unleash the wrath. All those.
Yeah. It wrathed into me.
I went monster hunting. Teddy went monster hunting, and Spencer went monster hunting. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
That is a question. Do you think like Breath of Fire has any space now that they have an RPG series? They consider it an RPG series. I have to call it an RPG series, but in Capcom's eyes, since they already have their most successful thing is what they consider to be their RPG series.
Yeah, yeah. I think those are two. Even though they may consider it an RPG, they're two very different markets. What those two games would be targeting. Yeah, I don't see why not. They've really explored a lot of their category in the, like you said, in the last couple of years. they seem a little more open to doing things that fans want. I mean, look at Resident Evil. They knocked those out of the park.
Look at
So-
Mega Man 11. They didn't Mega Man 11.
There you go. Yeah.
And that wasn't like a huge release. Like that's not like a Resident Evil like budget release, but like it was a whole release from Capcom, you know. So it seems like if they did Breath of Fire, I imagine it'd be like a smaller scale. Yeah.
Well, that series has always been that way. Like it would be weird if they did make it like a AAA, like banger Breath of Fire
Oh,
game.
you know what? They do have RPG. They're doing Dragon's Dogma 2. That's their RPG.
That's more like an action RPG, all right?
Yeah, it's more like a Dragon Age type thing or something like that style. So, but still,
I don't know. Breath of Fire, it is sort of D&D ish in a way. Although their big thing is that the hero is always turning into a dragon.
you can use notes.
Dine and dash.
Rathalos is kind of like a dragon.
I like that you keep bringing Rathalos into everything. I think that's a good thing. I would hope that you continue this trend for the rest of the Capcom.
For the rest of my life, yeah.
For the rest of your life. Put it on your job application.
Next episode, you're gonna see a seat next to Alex. It's gonna be like a makeshift Rathalos. So
Yeah.
every recording, we're gonna have four
At my
members.
funeral, everybody that goes to speak, they're just like, he just wouldn't shut up about Rathalos. I don't know why I don't even know what a Rathalos is.
I'm Alex.
Well-
I'm Spencer, and I'm Teddy, and I have Rathalos.
You're not Rathalos. You're not Rathalos.
Voiced by
At
Axel.
Alex's funeral, we're just going to be all standing around and say, can we admit that one of us killed him because he wouldn't shut up about Rathalos? And they're like, yeah, well, it's just, if we don't know, it's probably better this way.
He died the way he lived, talking about Rathalos. If there's not a Rathalos in this week's thumbnail, I'm gonna be upset.
Prepare to cry.
I'm gonna be upset.
Devil May Cry more like Alex May.
It's a lot of Capcom, man. You know, and there's so
Maybe,
much
yeah.
more we could have talked about. Capcom's a huge company.
But that's why you're here. Make a video response.
Yeah, let us know about your favorite Capcom series. I'm surprised Spencer didn't talk about Ace Attorney today.
I didn't think there would be enough to talk about. I would wager there wasn't a lot of exciting news about it because it's just kind of a text adventure kind of thing.
It came out. People liked it. And then they
Yeah,
liked
so we
it
made
some more.
another one. We made a lot more.
And that's when we decided to cross over with Leighton. It was a big move. He's a
Yeah, yeah.
professor.
That would be the highlight of that section. Be like, boy, you're not going to believe this part.
We decided
people liked
text-based adventure and puzzle do go together. That's why we cross over with Professor Layton. Moving on.
Yeah.
Are you excited for that Apollo Justice trilogy?
The what? I'm sorry.
The Apollo Justice trilogy
Yes.
that they're doing? Okay. I haven't talked to you about it, so I don't know.
It ends on the spirit of justice, which makes sense. But that is my favorite Professor. Or damn it, Teddy. It was a Professor Layton game, Phoenix Wright game. But yeah, they're all really. I mean, all of them are just really good. You couldn't go wrong with any of them.
I don't remember if that's the one I have. I know I have Trilogy. I can't remember if I got Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice on 3DS. I got one of the two.
Do you remember looking into dead people's faces?
Oh no, let me grab my 3DS. I'll tell you.
Okay, this is really important. People at home need to know this.
Right. Yeah. History of Capcom. History of Alex 3DS. Does he have
Yeah.
Spirit of Justice or Dual Destiny? Find out now.
Find out in 3 minutes while Alex struggles to open up his 3DS.
I'll tell you right now. I
figure it
have
out.
all three of them. So, just saying.
Dude, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They keep moving the damn power button on these 3DSs.
Yeah.
So
it
every
changes.
time because it was here, then it was like here on
Yeah.
on the 2DS or whatever, and it's here. So every time I pick this damn thing up, I'm like, power button.
How did I know? How did I know he's gonna have a hard time turning it on? I literally, while you were away, I just said you're gonna struggle turning this thing on.
Oh, it's Dual Destinies. I have Trilogy and Dual Destinies.
Well, now you can have the third one.
Okay.
But they're all good. I mean, you just go for it.
If you want to look into dead people's faces, you've got it here. Spirits of Justice.
Wrath
Hell yeah,
will. I
dude.
mean, yeah, Spirit of Justice. Yeah.
Where Phoenix Wright is defending Rathalos in his case. He's like,
I,
did you eat that man? And it's like, yes. It's like you're making this
yes,
very difficult.
he was trying to hunt me.
What he means to say is that in
Yeah.
spirit, you know.
Yeah.
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 I was gonna talk about Beautiful Joe, but what is there to talk about? They made the games and then they left.
That's a talking point.
Yeah. I wonder what the worst selling Capcom game is. Let's find that out.
Is it possible?
What series do you think it belongs to?
Probably not one of the big selling ones. Well, how about what console?
Yeah, it'd be some weird thing they were trying or something.
But that's too hard because it could be on like random ass consoles.
Yeah, it'd be something super obscure. Probably something on that Neo Geo Pocket.
Hold on. Best.
I'll go PC
I have
Engine.
a list of- Okay, so I'm gonna give you some of the worst selling Capcom games. I have a list. I couldn't find a good list of just worst, so I have a list of best and worst. It's the 8 best and the 7 worst selling Capcom games. So best, Dragon's Dogma. Apparently that sold pretty well. Worst, Lost Planet 3.
Makes sense.
People didn't give a shit. Best Okami / Okami HD. Probably more Okami HD. Worst, Devil May Cry 2, Terry.
That was one of the worst.
Best,
Selling?
Onimusha.
I don't believe this. Yeah.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 2 was one of the worst selling games. Best, Onimusha. Apparently sold pretty well. The
How
first
can
game,
this
at
sell
least.
worse than
I think they did a
Super
remaster
Nintendo
recently.
games, though? I don't think that makes sense.
Worst selling Clock Tower 3, which was a PS2 game. Best
No, there's
Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I guess they mean the first game.
There's no way, because I just pulled Devil May Cry 2 up on VG charts. It's like 2 million units.
That's what thegamer.com is telling me. Oh, never mind. This is not the right list. It's not what I asked for. I asked for selling.
It's like, is that saying worst games or something? Like
Yeah,
worst?
I can. Why can't I look up the worst selling games? I can find the best selling games.
Because they don't, after 1 million units, or they don't, I don't think they officially report, like, there's some system for it. I don't know. It's easy to get, like, over 1 million sellers. It's harder to get data for under 1 million sellers.
Do you guys want to guess the? Well, you already know the first one, but do you want to guess some of the other top selling games?
Do we know the best one? Because that was just the gamer.
World. It's World. Monster Hunter World is the
Oh.
best selling Capcom game by far.
Yeah.
But do you want to guess the other?
Probably Street Fighter 5.
Ones? No,
Resident Evil 4 Remake is up there, probably.
no, not yet. Okay, I'm gonna. So, number 1, Monster Hunter World. Number 2, Resident Evil 5.
Really?
Number 3 is Resident Evil 4, the original Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
Number 4 is Resident Evil 7. Number 5 is Resident Evil 6. And number 6 is Resident Evil 2 Remake. And
They're only going to make Resident
after-
Evil from now on, huh?
And then after that, it's Monster Hunter 3, portable, the one I was talking about on PSP. Then finally we get a Street Fighter with Street Fighter 4, and then after Street Fighter 4, it's like 6 more Monster Hunter games, and then a couple more Street Fighters, and then Resident Evil, and then there's Dragon's Dogma finally. But it's all Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, with a couple Street Fighters sprinkled in.
Well, if you want to project Capcom's future, there you go.
Yep. Yikes.
Apparently, if I go down, if I go down to the bottom of this list, let's see here. It looks like this isn't the worst selling of all time, but the worst selling out of like the top. I don't know what this is. Top 20, top. I can't tell. I mean, it's not numbered, but it's Dead Rising 4 sold 1 million apparently. So.
Well, I
Dead
already know
Rising
that
4, you're the
Breath of
best.
Fire sold.
Sorry, you're the worst. You're the worst of the best.
Yeah, because we know that Breath of Fire sold like 60-something thousand.
Yeah.
So
Now,
that
if
was
we're
definitely
talking
worse.
franchise sales, technically right now Resident Evil is still sold more as a franchise than Monster Hunter.
You think so?
Franchise sales, it goes, yeah, no,
Oh.
I haven't pulled up here. Franchise sales, top 5, it's Devil May Cry 5 with 23 million sales total. Mega Man with 38 million. Street Fighter at 46 million. Monster Hunter at 72 million. And Resident Evil sits up top with 110 million. So
Yep.
Monster Hunter hasn't toppled Resident Evil total franchise sales yet, but getting
Coming
there.
for your ass. I think Resident Evil is best on the NES.
Do you think it could kill? Did you know Resident Evil was based on an NES game?
Yeah.
Sweet Home. Do you think the cast of Resident Evil could kill Rathalos?
No.
Yeah, I think you're right. That'd be awesome. See Leon trying to shoot down a Rathalos.
All right. Well, is that?
Is that it, Teddy? Any closing statements?
No, Your Honor.
Somehow
hope
we
you
went
learned
from a
something.
classroom to a court to a courtroom.
Rathalos goes to jail for cannibalism.
All right then. Well, bye bye.
But wait, hold on, wait. I have a sound for this.
Uh-oh.
Nope,
Teddy said
stop
he's gonna-
recording.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.